We can talk about open source software if you want. Or make all our software open. So if we get died, everyone has the code and will continue use it.
There's got to be a service where you can set a timer. It's like a dead man's switch, dead man's wish, almost like a whale. If something happens, it gets released.
You know, last year, the 3-4 last years, I'm losing many people. Lost my father, my mother, I lost my brother last month. So I think that our life is too short.
It is.
So having open source code, not all the code of course, and having some plugins will help B4X too. Have in mind that if we have an ERP system that will be open and maybe something many users need, like a video meeting like we are using now, and making plugins for those software and updating will help all. You can sell services, not only software. Think about it.
Yeah. Let's have another forum discussion. Let's not take time from this meeting on the subject. We already discussed it and agreed on some of the things. Let this continue on the forum. So if you guys don't mind, let's get back to our original agenda, if we have one. What was the next thing we were going to discuss? Eric? Eric? How do I pronounce your name? Eric?
Yeah, you can call me Eric. Just call me Eric.
Your microphone?
Sorry. Yeah, you can call me Eric.
Eric. Okay, Eric. Since you created the first meeting, we'll let you continue with the agenda.
Everyone can see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we should continue with the agenda number 4 or 5. We already discussed item number 3, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think you guys have some point on the B4X tools just now. So we just continue how we can promote B4X language and how anyone want to suggest a project that we can work together in the future, maybe.
Well, if I may go back to item 3, suggestions to improve B4X tools. I've played around with Android Studio, and whenever they have options to create what environment or platform you want to be in, like obviously phone, tablet. They've got Wear OS, they've got TV and some other thing. So, and then once you click on one of those options, you have more options you have templates, empty, single page, 2-page, so forth. And I think B4X needs that. I think it needs to have some kind of template system to select from once you're in the IDE. I really believe that, especially, one of the options for phone tablet was to create the slide and menu. Instead of having to reinvent the wheel every time you want to create an application, there should be something like that so that you've got the basics to start to especially for B4X pages, you know, which I haven't gotten a handle on. I find it a lot easier to build apps in the default. It just works, you know. So whereas B4X pages seems you need to reference the page every time more than once. Like you've got to set it up, then reference it, and then somehow, I don't know, it just seems convoluted to me. So I think it, again, you know, with number 3 item, I think the B4X environment, the IDE, it needs templates, especially for the beginners. I think that would be a huge help for those getting into it. You know, people go from, like I said, Android Studio, and then they pick up B4X. Like they go, where's all the templates? You know, I'm going to go back to Android Studio or some other, you know, environment they're not used to. B4X and its simplicity, I guess. So that's what I'd like to see.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the B4X suite now we already have the B4X template, right? We can select.
Yes, but you have to create your own, though, right?
Yeah, actually, the members, the community need to create their own template and then share out to everyone. But it seems that not much people share their template out. So that's why.
Yeah, but a beginner's not going to, Eric, but beginner's not going to know that, where to go onto the forum and find these things. You know, they have no idea. But if it's built into the IDE, it's right there. They can get started a lot quicker.
Maybe someone, after they create the template, they need to create the tutorial how to use the template and show the picture, the screenshot, how they can use it step by step. Then create a more user-friendly and beginner-friendly template and tutorial.
May I suggest, well, if there's already some sort of template functionality and there are templates out there, then perhaps maybe a separate section on the forum where only templates are listed.
Maybe we can suggest to Errol to create a new section or new sub-forum in the B4X forum.
Right.
Yeah. For example, I also created a few templates like the JRDC server and JRDC client. I also created the templates and then I share out. I hope more members will create more templates and share out.
Yeah, and maybe the similar layout. We already have that share your code, not the code, share your idea. What did you do for something? Yeah. I was hoping to suggest an option there, like a checkbox, which will only easily can filter out those that have a source code in there. Because after I joined just started using this B4X, I found that page and I thought, oh great, I'm going to download a couple of examples. I'm going to learn by using existing codes, and I've found that out of 10 posts in there, only one may have a source code.
Sorry, what do you mean by checkbox? Is it a tick or what?
Some sort of a flag where you know what I'm talking about, right? That share your ideas, something. Most of them don't share code. They're telling that, hey, I developed my first app. Here's how it looks like, but there's no code in there.
In the share my creation.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
The system, they may be commercial potential.
Wonderful.
To share. But
absolutely.
Some of the code there. Maybe some of the code that I want to share, then I can share the source code. Maybe I think is benefit to the other members. But if the project is too big, too huge, then it may have financial, maybe commercial use.
I
think what Lev wants is to filter out the threads which has code, which has source code in it and which doesn't have. So irrespective whether somebody wants to make money out of the code or not, if we go into share my creation threads or posts, I think it'd be nice, like Lev and Mark are suggesting that we could highlight or filter those posts that have source code in it.
It's a good practice. Like normally if we create a post, then a question, if the question already solved, we will put the tag solve bracket solve in front. If let's say the project is open source with the source code, I also sometimes I will put a bracket source code before I open the title. Okay, so
that's good idea. This is what you're talking about. Is are guidelines for writing a post.
But not all members will follow this guideline. So some
right. But if there is a, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If you would have a custom ability to
customize ourselves to follow the
guidelines.
Yeah, if there's ability to customize the form, I don't know, is it off-shell product or what kind of the software?
It's the responsibility and the good practice of the member.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that if there's a ability when you post the forum, when you post the article in the blog, there's a checkbox that says I'm sharing the code, and you just mark that. And then if I want to learn something, like the other day, I was trying to find out how to use certain command. I did the search and I found hundreds of articles, but none of them have examples in there. They're just examples.
Maybe so can post a question to the author of the thread and ask whether do you want to share your source code or not.
Yeah. But if I'm working on a project right now, I don't want to wait, 30 minutes, 1 hour, or 1 day while somebody is going to answer. I want to find the answer right now so that I can quickly finish this function and move on to the next thing.
Sometimes we need to be more friendly to the author or
absolutely.
The sharer. The person
absolutely. Bottom line that if there's a way of having check mark, maybe even 2 check marks. One is the sharing the code inside, the other is attach the whole project.
Yeah.
Then when you search for that, it would be convenient.
We can standardize what kind of symbol or icon that we can use for the.
Okay. I think a simple solution would be to just put, in bold text and in bright red or something, with a font of 30, just put it at the top, this app shares my code. I don't think that the forum template, so to speak, of Errol, what Errol has as a tool, has checkboxes and things like that. So I think it would be up to the user to put in there saying this application shares my code, something like that, whatever. But I think there's issues with doing that, and I've found downloading applications, from or code from the forum. I download it, open it up, run it, it fails for some reason.
Can you see my screen? This is one of the example. I put a bracket source code in front of the title.
Yeah.
So it indicates that this share my creation is open with the source code. Okay, I think members will maybe it's a good idea, good practice to follow this practice or. What we call this.
You can also find if it has a source code if you see the views. It has many views and it's always have a source code.
Yeah. And Mark, I've noticed the same way what you just mentioned, that a lot of time I download and there was quite a few times when it was failed. Mostly libraries not included. You have to find and search for the library. And some of the examples, they don't mention which library they're using, so you have to, look in the code. And so it takes a little bit of time before you're making the example working, instead of just having everything in one place.
We need to be patient. We need to be slowly.
And that's why I mentioned that that the IDE, it's built in, so it's up to Errol to maintain the templates and so forth, so every time that you open a template and it creates the, whether it's default or B4X pages, it's going to work. And like I mentioned, I don't want to be complaining or anything like that, but I don't have 100% success rate of downloading and opening applications and having them work straight up. It's, like you said, Lev, it's something to do with the library. The library's outdated. Like I'm looking for something that would do the Google autofill service. There's a couple of libraries on there. One is very outdated. I think it's by Peter Simpson. He's not maintaining it anymore. So to hope to use it, it's a negative to me to want to have the forum to work for me. I mean, again, not to be complaining or self-centered on that. I just think that if it's built in to the product, the IDE, it's going to work.
Yeah.
I think Errol might have something like this planned already. Reason why I suggest so or think so is, if you look at MS Word or MS Excel or Visual Basic or any other IDE for the matter, when you open a template, when you say open, it asks you if you want to open a template, and it gives you thousands of examples, and you could maybe say example, if you go to Excel, it will give you options for different templates that you could choose from. It could be financial, it could be charts, it could be anything. So maybe Errol has got something in his mind. If not, we as collectively could go back and suggest this feature maybe in future releases, where we could go and retrieve a template from the server, understand?
Yeah, I think that's what his wish tab or section is for. You know, I've posted in there some things. I never get a response. And so it's hard to know whether, you know, your effort is successful or not. And when you go in and ask for these things, sometimes he responds, you know, but to get anything from Errol, I think right now is kind of, you know, for future looking. I've read some of those posts, and I don't get it. We don't get it from him. You know, he holds it very close to his chest. And I think someone actually used that term.
Not to forget, I'm sure Errol is probably very busy to get hold of him, or for us to expect that he should respond. I think that's going to take some time. I also believe that there are others who use his handle to respond. It's one person answering 50,000 people is quite a big task. So to get a response from Errol is a big thing, but to get the community is very helpful. Sometimes there is a delay with somebody responding or somebody picking up the question, but normally I've seen that one or the other would definitely respond to the questions.
All right. Okay, so what's the next?
I've seen Errol coming like in Sundays, so many times on Sundays, and answer all the unresponded questions, especially in the B4I forum, where Errol will come on a Sunday and check all the questions that had no answers, and he'll answer all the questions. I've seen that so many times.
Okay, looks like you found his schedule.
Shabbat.
Maybe thinking from Monday to Saturday, and then answer them all. It has to do with the jobs he had. Maybe he has many projects. Never know. He has kids too.
Yeah, like I said, he's Jewish, so he's Saturday is his Shabbat. You know, Friday.
So Monday to Friday is working for answers.
Yeah. All right.
You know, maybe he is integrated AI into the B4X. I see. You don't know.
No.
But what I've noticed is George.
Yes.
George with the handle Magma. He is normally very helpful. He is normally very helpful. I've seen a lot of posts from him. He contributes a lot to the forum.
Who, me?
Thanks, George.
Who's that again?
Yeah, you.
I don't believe that. Eric has more contributions, more posts.
Now, I've come across your name a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I think the most active is Mahares, right? Mahares. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's the quite active member, Mahares, but he's not joining us tonight.
Yeah, he's there.
Yes, Maharis is very active.
All right. So about the collaboration, we already mentioned a little bit about collaboration with others. I think we may have it would be a good idea to have just one post on the forum where anyone would post their skills and their knowledge, and their expertise and the abilities to collaborate. For example, I'm an internet service provider, right? So technically I'm busy, but I would love to collaborate, and I can offer a server platform for those who need it. I'm not a busy. I know that making profit is important for everybody, but I don't expect immediately, to start making money on that. And if together we'll work on something where in the future, several months or years from now, it will benefit somebody, that would be great. So what I'm suggesting...
I think that knowledge is money, because
yes,
we can share our knowledge and get knowledge too.
Absolutely, 100% correct. Knowledge is money, but we also need resources. If you have... and I do have resources. I can offer resources.
Jeff, can you provide a VPX server for our B4J server? Maybe a
virtual private service.
We can call you bank.
I could. I'm using VPS, my personal VPS, and basically have a Windows server that I'm using as VPS when I need it. But we can talk about it. But more something like a database-driven databases, APIs for certain apps. I've seen millions of apps on the Google Play Store, Android, where it would be nice if I could save this on the server, but because developers made app without capabilities of using the server, they don't want to pay monthly fees to a server platform. There is no such thing. Or like I've seen the app on the very convenient app on the Play Store. I'm using it, but the configuration is so tedious on the phone, and it takes time. And I'm thinking, here's a good idea. How about making a web-based configuration for your app? Seems like would be a good idea, because you can open the computer, you can use big keyboard, type very fast on your keyboard, and make a necessary configuration for your tiny app that runs on your phone. But in order for that to happen, there has to be a database on the server, there has to be account management, there has to be connectivity between this. So it's some simple app becomes too complicated. And the problem is a lot of developers don't do that because they don't want extra complication. However, if there are resources available, server resources with a database, with API, with account management, then your tiny app may become very convenient. So I would love to offer those kind of server resources.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we should come up with a complete solution, something like a PaaS, platform as a solution, or service as a solution. So a complete platform where it makes B4X developing the B4X become easier if we have a complete platform. Like you say, we have a server, we have the database, API, everything. Make the developers' job easier to develop their apps. I think it's a good idea.
It is. But what you mentioned is to have some sort of a product that anybody can use. That's a good idea. However, what I'm talking about is your number 5 in the agenda. Is what I suggest is to post. I'm going to do that first. I'm going to post the article, the blog post, where I'm going to say, here's my name. I live in San Diego, California. I have these database servers. I have DNS server. I have mail server. I have all the resources. I have this knowledge. I can develop in this language and that language. So, and here's my contact information. If you need the collaboration, do that. And if anybody who is willing to collaborate can post their information there as well. And it doesn't mean that you have to do for free for somebody, and it doesn't mean that you're going to start charging right away. But the bottom line is at least know who you want to contact. I have extensive knowledge in electronics because my background is electronics engineering. So I've been using Android and developing. I haven't used B4X for an Android, for Arduino, I'm sorry, Arduino, but I know the language. I've been using that. So there's a lots of things I can offer, but we need to place where people can find that. So similarly, somebody else can post there, and say, that's my knowledge, that's my expertise. If you need help, we can, or
yeah, good.
collaboration, we can do that.
Can I suggest then? Okay, I hear Liv, so we could do that, right? But we don't want also for that post to be, lost in the bigger scheme of things in the B4J forum. So maybe we should have like a closed group, like a Telegram group or something, where we could invite other members to come join, where you could ask questions and somebody would respond to it immediately. Like you were saying, you don't want to wait for 30 minutes or one day to get an answer while you're busy working on it, right? So wouldn't it be nice that we have like a Telegram or a WhatsApp group?
Well, then you started by saying you don't want this post to be lost by using another forum platform, whether Telegram or anything else. It's already lost. It means new people who comes to the forum, they would not know about the existing of another platform.
Absolutely. I agree with you. But here's a smallest difference between having a mobile WhatsApp or a mobile group, which is like a Telegram group, to the forum is you have to log on to a forum to know what's happening. Whereas on a Telegram group, you get notifications. You can go in from your mobile and see what's happening. What's happening on the group.
Yeah, you're right.
If everybody is okay, I can share a group. I've created a group. I can share it.
Yeah, let's do it. For questions, ask and help, what you're telling Pravin is correct. If you are expecting help, having ability to respond instantly is essential. So let's do that. But what I was talking about is on the point 5, as on the collaboration, as a working on long-term projects, or expecting discussing some project that, hey, I'm working, I have several projects, for example. I would love to get some help, not just help, but join with somebody else to work on the project. I have a great idea for GPS in GPS field. It would work great in the States. I just don't have time to do everything on my own. Like I said, I have several projects. So it would be nice if I can find people and then continue to work. So having article on the forum where I can look to the people and say, hey, this is John Doe person. He knows this technology. He knows this platform. I think I should talk to him. He may be a good candidate to work with me on this. And then contacting him and et cetera, et cetera. So this is just like a static list of people and references and what they can do. For that purpose, forum would be just good enough. So I think
wouldn't that be great for in the business section that John from Ireland talked about?
It's a similar.
Possibly do it in there,
Yeah, it's kind of it's like almost have connection to that. All right.
I think that we all have a LinkedIn account, right?
I block LinkedIn all the time. I receive so much garbage from there, and there's their advertisement. I don't know. I don't like LinkedIn personally.
Okay.
but LinkedIn is, yeah. I never seen anybody on LinkedIn who would tell me, oh, you know what? I just got a call from a company. They hired me because they found my profile on LinkedIn. Never seen that. I don't think anybody have ever done it. So LinkedIn, it seems like it's one of those things that looks good on the paper, looks good on the resume, in the fact, but in the reality, it's not functioning properly. So
most of the companies will have a look at your profile after they've given you the job.
Exactly. So anyway,
I've created a Telegram group. If anybody's interested to join, you're more than welcome. Let's see how the response is. If the response is well, then we'll continue with that. If not, then we will drop it.
Pravin, is that okay to put it on the forum in the thread that for this online meeting?
That's fine, Mark. You can do that. Not a problem at all. What we want is to have a good collaboration between the members of the forum in an easiest possible way, addressing the facts that we don't want to be waiting to get some suggestions or some answers. If that is okay with everybody.
Yeah, I think okay, but for some solution in the Telegram, some members do not see the solution in the Telegrams in the forum. I think maybe it's better that we also share in the forum.
Either ways, I'm not. As long as we are sharing the knowledge, as long as we are making the product grow, as long as we are helping each other, doesn't matter which platform it is.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm joining the Telegram right now. I'm in Europe.
Either Telegram, WhatsApp, I'm okay. Actually, for the Chinese group, I also have another group with Teddy Bear. We have some Chinese users or members because for the Chinese, sometimes they are blocked from the firewall. So I normally chat with them using the WeChat app. Some of them cannot access using the VPN or they are blocked from forum access. So actually, I also have a group of members in the WeChat group, around 50 members. I can't remember how much is it. I think it's a good idea. We have a small group where we can respond and help other members. It's good if let's say this approach can make the B4X language more popular and more members, more users. I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
George, you wanted to say something. You wanted to learn Chinese.
You don't need to learn Chinese. I'm also not very good in Chinese. I use Google Translate. Sometimes I also don't understand what they are typing. But I try my best. I also learning Chinese.
I need to know Chinese for the group you have.
I have a Chinese WeChat group.
Well, we have the four in another four suggestion to promote B4X language.
Yeah, I hope more Chinese users or people from the China or Taiwan or anywhere around the world will use B4X. Yeah, I have this, so many message I didn't read. See, I have 60 members. You see, I don't think I share the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I share the screen.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Any other ideas, topics you want to discuss?
Yeah. So this collaboration is obviously from the members. I was wondering what Errol's involvement would be, not only from this, but in the future. How I find it a little closed from Errol. Like I said, he doesn't divulge too much about his product or its futures. So I just find that a little unusual, because you go to other products and they're always telling you about the future of their products, what they've got in line. They've got online meetings to show you how to use it, this kind of thing. And again, I know he's only, well, I'll call him a one-man band. And where bigger companies, obviously, Google and Android, they've got people on there doing, writing up articles, doing videos of how to use this, what's coming in the future, all of this kind of stuff, and I think, especially me as a user, I want to know what's coming up, maybe, 6 months down the road, or I think a year's too far, unless he's got that in his plans. but I just want to have that feeling of knowing that this product has potential. And again, someone brought up the whole thing is, you know, he's one-man band. What happens? He gets hit by a bus, so to speak. I just want to know and have that great feeling of, yeah, this product has a future, and here's its potential. This is what it's coming up with, and so forth. I just don't have that with this product, even though I enjoy using it. I really do. And again, I used it as professional. Again, I'm retired and still play around with it, especially B4A. And so I want to be able to do stuff with it and release it, you know, because I think it's got a great potential to build stuff quickly. But when it comes to building libraries, I fall down with that. I just don't have that expertise.
Yeah. Just to continue briefly on the previous matter, I've looked at the forum. Like I'm still new with B4X, and I haven't looked through a lot of things. So it looks like we do have the business forum. It's under general section of the forum, and I think that would be a good place where someone would post an article, a post about introduction. Maybe I can do that. I'll do this. And then who is managing the forum? They could make it sticky so that it will be at the top, and the people can post their information, their knowledge, their resources, what they're willing to do, if anything, if they're looking for something, so. Is everybody okay with using the business forum for that thing?
I think that anybody wants something that will pay for using the business forum, or want for job opportunity, as I know.
Okay.
Let me. Yes, it is using only for commercial, as I can understand, commercial software.
Well, the collaboration seems like more in a...
yes, and some collaboration with B4J coders. I don't think that is a problem to write somewhere. Yes, it will not be all the business together if write one question at B4J questions, or write a question at or write at save the code, save the your creations. You can ask or create a new form subject. Here you go.
We can always move articles from one, move posts from one forum to another if we have to. Okay.
Levi, you creating something in the business forum?
I'm writing on first introduction thread where I would mention my name, contact information, the expertise, the technologies that I'm familiar with, so that if somebody would want to do something with something specific about HTTP protocol or SMTP protocol, or you want to develop your own FTP client application, or there's, you know, everybody knows that having programming skills is not enough today. You need to know certain technologies, specific, like you want to develop an communication with electronic device, you need to know TCP protocol. And a lot of developers don't know TCP protocol. They're using it every day in the browser, but they don't know it. So having a place where you can list those specific, very specific technologies that you're familiar with and you can help with is going to be very helpful, I believe, and beneficial to the business community if someone wants to make money on this and hire somebody and or working together on a certain project. Like I said, I have several projects. I would love to participate with other members. I don't want this to be my own and I'm going to be the owner of the business. No, I'm busy with other stuff. But if 3-4 people can work on the same project and share the shares of the company. And by the way, in the United States, it's very easy to do. Like we would form a LLC, a corporation. I can take care of that, where each person owns a certain percentage of the company. So if they all of a sudden the software is successful and people start making money by downloading and purchasing it, everybody who is participating would make money. So I think there is something to that.
You mean members will join together to have a company and build a same product?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Just as example, I have a project, for example, that is very good. I don't want to, publicly advertise and say openly in the forum because, well, for obvious reasons, I still want to make money on this project. But I want to share this income with somebody else. So if you want to work on that and you know this specific knowledge, and it's not like I'm just going to find anybody. I want to pick person who is going to be devoted. It's like hiring an employee. If you right. So then 2, 3, 4 people, 5 people.
The first question. The first question I think is the trust between the members. Maybe we don't know each other not so long. Maybe the trust, we need to build a trust between the members, among the members. Then we can cooperate and become the shareholders of the company and build the product together.
Well, in the United States, it's very easy because you can form a company and people will join the company. And if I own, I don't know, 50% of this company and somebody else owns another 25%, and somebody...
It's easier if, let's say, there's someone with the capital or the money to hire other developer, then other developer will join and provide their skill, their knowledge for the project. So
that's not the same. Hiring somebody else is just if I want to devote my money, then I would look for another. What I'm saying is that hiring somebody for the money is like there's nothing new. Everybody works for money for another company. Everybody who is here makes money or made money in the past somehow.
I mean,
so that's
my idea is maybe one person can contribute more on the percentage of the share, maybe like 30%, maybe other developer, maybe they share like 10%, 20%, different portion of the share.
I'm talking about more like a partnership.
Yeah.
It's the partnership. It's not somebody hires someone else and pay. If I can hire somebody else, well, I'm going to find the best programmer. I'm going to pay him a salary, and I don't need this forum.
I think maybe we can talk about this in
right.
detail
in the forum. Yeah, that's right. But having the partnership where I know the server side, I will concentrate on the server side. Somebody else, this person knows the user interface, and somebody else knows the
I think first we need to come out what kind of product that we want.
Well, you are talking. Sorry, Lev. You are and Eric. You are talking. You know the server side. You are talking only for the OS and the customization of server, or you are talking for programming at server side, JServer.
Let me just give you an example. This one particular example I have in mind. I have a project. I have a domain name. I have structure. I have tested. It seems like there is a demand for that product. In order for this to accomplish, this company who would be developing, they need the following. They need obviously capabilities of developing Android and iPhone app. Android and iPhone app. They need this company needs to have a database, professional database person. I know the database, but everybody knows. But that's what I'm talking about. Bigger structure that could be additional extra work. We need somebody who knows GPS technology. We need somebody who knows a little bit of collecting information. Like Google have APIs where I can extract information. So there has to be scripts.
Yes, but I'm asking you something more personal. Sorry, we are talking about the server side. You talking about the backend programming in B4X or other language?
Well, B4X is not a server platform, although you can use the Java to run.
Have a B4J option like a J server running.
Right. No, what I'm talking about is if you have an app for the Android app or so, and you want this app to, for example, just let's say something very simple. You have an app and you want the settings to be saved in the cloud. Who is the cloud? I'm the cloud. I have my own servers to act like a cloud.
Lev, I get what you coming from, what you trying to say. Actually, for example, I have a point of sale system. Actually, I'm building the B4J desktop version. So maybe in the future, I want to create an Android version, and then in the future, I want to create the iOS version and the cloud reporting system. So I have a few product that I want to build. So I need more people to join me for this project where I can build the Android version, iOS version, and the cloud version. Is that what you want to say?
Yeah, something similar to that. And for example, if you want to save on the cloud, you can use Amazon Web Services. You can use Google. Yeah. You can use, there's a bunch of other programs, but they're expensive.
Yeah, because
Amazon has such a convoluted and complicated security system that something simple.
B4X developers like me, maybe I'm not very good in the server side, so I have
exactly
for you.
And here's my point. You don't need if you want to use Amazon service, you have to have a programmer who's going to be writing interface with Amazon. But in my system, I can do everything on my own because I developed the system. I can offer this functionality to everybody else, and I can collaborate with the developers on your project. So that kind of things.
Okay, but in what language you are programming at the server side?
If it's web-based interface, I use ASP platform. For the backend, it's Microsoft SQL Server. Usually, I have a program site developed. And by the way, I've been using Visual Basic. The reason why I'm in this forum is because I've been using Visual Basic since 1995. And I developed many complicated software programs in Visual Basic 6. And last time I had a contract in 2018. I had a contract with a company. I can even show this how it works. The company, they wanted very complicated system to control and test electronic equipment. And I told them that I'm going to write this in Visual Basic 6. They said, you can't possibly do that. We need more complicated. We need I said, do you want a specific source code or do you want a finished software? Tell me what you want. If you want a source code, I will write in C# or VB.NET. But if you want fast working program, I can do this in Visual Basic 6. So I developed, and they were like pulling their hair. Oh my God, I didn't know they can do that.
Did you try it before J?
What is it?
Did you write B4J?
Before what?
B4J.
No. I didn't. I'm talking about my own stuff. Yeah.
I'm losing too much.
But the bottom line is that I've been using Visual Basic my whole life, and when I come to the point where, for example, I needed to use PayPal communication with PayPal, it requires.
You need to make the step. You need to make the step.
It will require certain certificates, and Visual Basic 6 is not capable of using the server side. So I would write a wrapper using VB.NET or C#, which would incorporate functionality that Visual Basic cannot do, and then I would make that wrapper acting like ActiveX. And then using my own Visual Basic 6 software, I use my own ActiveX, which have a C# wrapper inside. So in other words, if I need to do something complicated, I can do from inside of Visual Basic to expand functionality. And that's why, to answer your question, which platform I'm using Visual Basic for most of the things. But
I was so engaged with Visual Basic.
And there's a reason for that.
It was easy. It was a Windows program that for Microsoft users.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that. Right now I have 2 web frameworks. One framework is the Visual, it's like a WordPress. The other framework is the control panel. It is so extensive. I can create a very complicated page in about like a half of the page, and they have about 500 kilobytes of source code file with lots of classes and functions. I've been thinking in the past 10 years, I've been thinking that I need to move this to C# or VB.NET, but I don't have time. Neither I.
Very, very interesting. Can you share it more on the forum? We can see.
I can share user interface.
You can post create a new post and share to us. I can do that. We're running out of time. But what I'm saying is that
I have a ready meeting. I can post it if you want.
Very quickly, I'm just 2 minutes. When I'm talking about Visual Basic, when other software developers who using C++ and other languages, they're used to look at me like, oh my God, you're still using that? That's just crazy. But the reason why I'm using it is because I have extensive library of my own, a lot of functions, a lot of functionality, and it takes me very little of time. And then if Visual Basic cannot do something, then I open C++ and I develop a module inside for C++, and then I'm calling it from Visual Basic. So that way you can expand it to infinity. There's no limits what you can do with Visual Basic, and that's what I've been using.
Okay. Before we end this meeting, anything else you want to?
I'm posting a link for meeting. Can you keep open your eyes?
I quite tired already actually.
Do you need a coffee?
I don't want coffee. Later I can't sleep.
If there is anybody else, anybody else who wants to add something? Do we have to continue, or we're done?
I think I'm done already.
Okay.
Okay. We can have a new meeting.
For putting this on. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll stop my recording and then I will share my recording video.
Excellent.
If you guys want to record, then it's up to you. I share, I think 2 hours. This 2 hours video, I think quite long already for the members to watch.
Okay. Okay.
I have to excuse myself.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. This is a good idea. Let's do this
you.
again, maybe in a couple of weeks, in a month, or let's do this again sometime later.
I also love VB6 actually. Okay. Good night, everyone.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Okay.
See you again soon.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello.